We met in approximately 1965 when we were both teenagers. And his school had come to, they'd closed it, and they sent the male students to our school for industrial shop. And I remember the first time I saw him, and I thought, oh my God, that's a very cute, boy.
She was actually dating a friend of mine. And I think that's when I first met her.
He was dark and tall and, had lots of life. I don't think there was much communication between us at all until a little bit later when he asked me out on a date.
Phoned her up and went and picked her up. And we went to Medicine Hat for the evening.
He had a convertible, and my God, that was really special, in those days. And I do remember riding across the prairie.
When I brought her home, she said, well, it's late, you may as well stay here. So I slept in the basement of her mother's house. And the next morning, her mother made me go to church with him, and I'm kind of dressed in, like, sort of going to work clothes.
We had a couple of dates, and he basically disappeared.
And Rig moved out of the area, and so you move away and your relationships change. And
he was working in the oil industry on a rig, and if the rig moved, he disappeared. He would go to another community. I went off to university. He was a working guy, and it just the connection just fell away.
Well, I worked in an oil patch for 27 years. I started flying, and I flew for 17 years.
I would often read about Malcom in our local newspaper. I would see his name and, sort of wonder about him, what happened.
Once in a while I thought about it, once all through my life. I
was married, I guess at about 25 or so. If you ever drive through Yak, you will come across Two Scoops Steve's ice cream shop, and that was my husband, and that was our business. We were married for, I think, 43 years when he developed a brain tumor, a really nasty brain tumor, and was gone about 7 months later.
I got married and had 2 children, and that went sideways after 19 years. And a friend of mine had some houseboats in Lake Koocanusa, and he said, I belong down here, they needed me here.
I was a widow for probably about 5 or 6 years before somebody else came into my life.
Well, I got on the internet and started to look.
I guess it was my children who said to me, Mom, why don't you try internet dating? You're still young and, you're lonely, or they thought I was. And I really poo-pooed it. I said, oh, no way. And then my daughter said, well, Mom, I'll help you write a biography and we'll put it on a, site. And
I came on this one site and something twigged on it, so I got a hold of her.
I get an email from a gentleman who said, I've read your bio, and I really think there's something there that I'd like to find out more about you. Neither one of us had a photograph and no identifying information, but he sent me an email. And I thought, interesting.
Well, actually, only about 2 or 3 times back and forth on the computer, and she said, well, I don't like doing this, phone me. So I phoned her and started asking her where she's from.
And I said, you wouldn't recognize it. And he said, try me. And I said, it's a little town called Rolling Hills. And I said, what about you? And he said, Rainier. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is only 40 kilometers apart. I am quite certain that we will know each other because it's a, it's a small world. And he said, I know who you are. And my heart just did a flip-flop. I said, oh, do you? And he said, yes.
I said, good grief, you're Noreen Christensen.
And I said, who am I speaking to? And he said, Malcom Meyer. And oh my goodness. Anyway, oh, there's a few tears.
Shortly after that, I came to town to meet her, and it was just close to Christmas time.
We had a connection, and we knew each other, and it was a safe connection, and that it was safe to invite this man into my home, and we had quite a lovely visit right here in this very living room, and we went back a long ways, and he said goodnight, and we'll continue this, and sure enough, we did.
We talked back and forth on the phone a little bit, and then we went out for New Year's night, so we went for supper on New Year's.
We walked downtown, and I do remember we walked hand in hand in the snow, and went to the Mozart house that is now closed, but we had a lovely evening.
We'd both aged a lot, but it still the attraction was there.
I am a grammar Nazi, and so the grammar was a little shaky, and I thought, oh my God, how am I going to deal with this? He's very loving, he's very considerate, he's kind.
Lovely personality, just letting everybody be everybody.
Not too bad. Not too bad at all.
Great dancer. Superb.
Excellent. One thing, I always know where Malcom's been because he doesn't know how to close a drawer totally. So it's always a little open. But I find it amusing now. It doesn't bother me at all. I think, oh, Malcom's been here.
She's good in the kitchen. She's a good cook, she's clean.
Not bad. He takes responsibility in the kitchen, and I often get served breakfast, and he does his best there.
One of the things that we do a lot is we can laugh at ourselves.
He's very sarcastic. Yeah, we've had some go-rounds about that. You might have to cut that out. But
No, that's juicy.
Clean the bathrooms.
Change out of his dirty work clothes. He loves working, and they become his favorite.
Oh, that would be a double negative. She is a grammar Nazi. And if you use a double negative, she's on you.
Oh my goodness, he would have a pet peeve about me? I don't know. I think probably I can never leave the house without everything probably being in its place. And just the other day, I said, well, I'm just going to tidy this up. And I said, you never know when the Queen's going to arrive. And he said, are you kidding me? The Queen can't get out of her castle these days. So just leave it. We're out of here. Very compassionate. And when I need somebody to, sort of wrap their arms around me and talk about whatever it is that I'm bothered with, he has no qualms about stepping up to the plate.
I just love her personality, her giving personality, and how she, enjoys people. You walk downtown and everybody says hi. And this really means something to me.
Moving in together, didn't technically happen for quite a while because he was working at Sunshine Houseboats, living in his holiday trailer, or fifth wheel, I guess it was, and I was here in Kimberley.
Noreen asked me what I was doing to do for the winter, because I usually lived out at the marina all winter, so I had to make a choice.
The man would have been very cold in his in his fifth wheel, and I suggested that he probably, you know, come and stay in Kimberley. It's got to be laughter. We laugh a lot.
You know, in the mornings we lay in bed and watch the news and drink coffee and laugh at all the commercials because they're so ridiculous, you know. So.
If somebody was walking by the house this morning and heard the laughter coming out of here, they'd be probably, what the heck is going on in there?
So we really respect each other's opinions on things, and we can have totally different opinions, but we can talk about it, but we don't argue about it.
We have this connection where, you know, we know life is fragile and short, and we make the most of it.
And I often think about it, you know, and how we got together. Just stuff like that's happened in my life before, you know, where I think about something and then it happens, and I don't question it. I just, you know, it's my life.
I'm really grateful to the universe for, you know, getting us together. The internet threw us together, for heaven's sakes. and in the end, you know, we knew each other previously, and I never take that for granted, that this is special.